What's up? I'm Ayla.
Hi, I'm Beth Ann.
And this is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to Series Sunday, the day of the week where we talk all about one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So if you haven't seen this show, walk away now or forever hold your peace. You like what I did there?
I see what you did. I see what you've done.
We are talking Beloved in House. I do. Yes. So
yes, it's true. This is what we're talking about.
Let's get to the facts before we get to the fun.
Yeah, so this show is on Viki. We stan anytime something's on Viki. So easy. 10/10 appreciate. The translator teams are also on top of it.
Long-time subscriber.
Into it. So this show came out in 2021 on Viki. There are 12 episodes. The cast is quite simple, but quite impactful. We have, and please, I promise I am trying my best. I truly am trying my best. Please be gentle with my heart. One of these days we will get like Evan back on the podcast, mostly because I'm dying to talk to Evan on the podcast again. But he can just like give me a language lesson because I'm trying my hardest. So be kind. But the cast is Aaron Lai as Jin Yu Zhen and Hank Wang as Shile.
Beautiful. Amazing.
I tried.
Okay. I will not be trying because the synopsis, I make no apologies. Founded about 10 years ago, Say Studio is in danger of going bankrupt before Jin Yu Zhen, a person who excels in management, appears, and he becomes the new director. On the first day of his directorship, the atmosphere of the studio changed completely when he enforces a single rule which prohibits romantic relationships and marriages between employees, and the violation of the rule resulted in a dismissal. To abolish the rule, the employees of Say Studio collude with a secret plan. Shile, an employee, approaches Yuzhen to snoop for information about the love life of this domineering director. As a result of various encounters, nice, he finds out that the tyrant director is still hurt from a past relationship and is suffering from loneliness. Knowing that he still possesses a heart, Shile becomes curious about Yuzhen. Beautiful.
Yes. It's a great synopsis.
Solid synopsis.
I really appreciate all of the like adjective usage. I love the phrase domineering director. I feel like that is astute.
Yes. Reading through that, I was like, oh, big words, names in another language. It's hard.
Okay, so let's talk about this show. Let's get into it. So this will be a very interesting episode because I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I don't watch shows while they're live. I binge. I have only ever watched 2 shows while live. One of them I'm currently watching. So, yeah,
Slightly
I
watching.
remember. Yes, well, I had an incident. There's drama in the background, guys. The drama. Anyways.
Yes.
This show, I remember when you were watching it, you were like, I can't wait for you to watch this show. You're going to like it so much. You're going to be so into it. And like everyone that I knew was watching this show. And I just like, was so excited to watch this show.
Yeah.
Because everybody watched it and everybody was into it. And like you especially were like, I can't wait for you to watch this. You're going to like it so much. And then I watched it. And like truly my synopsis of this, and maybe this is a hot take and I'm going to get crucified on the internet. Like, this was a show I watched. That is literally my only opinion about this show. For some reason, this show just did not hit for me.
Yes. So be prepared to listen to me speak the whole time. I will say it'll be interesting to see I feel like here's the thing. As a social scientist, I am curious about the study of binge watching versus watching while live. And I feel like watching it live was an experience because this is the type of show that nothing happens until the very end. Like for the main couple, nothing happens.
Right.
And so they're 20-minute episodes. I got to the end of each episode each week, and we'd get like a loving stare between the two main characters. And I was like, oh my gosh. And this show, again, in rewatching some like clips to prepare for this, I was like, this is a show truly carried by the chemistry of these two main
Right.
actors. Because also the like behind the scenes and the appearances that they did on variety shows, I like ate everything up. I was like, these boys have such good chemistry. It's
Yeah,
so interesting.
it's not that it didn't hit for me because of Hank and Aaron. I
Yeah.
really, really liked them. And I really wanted to love this show because,
Yeah.
yes, I immediately liked them.
Right.
And so it was a situation where it was like, I want to like this because I like them.
Right.
But it's just,
yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't there.
And it's, again, it's not that it was a bad show. It's not that I didn't like it.
No.
It's that this was a show I watched.
You're like waiting kind of for something to happen. And again, when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, it kind of is just like what you would see in everyday life. Like there's not really any like there's not really any engaging storyline that is like kind of dramatic or entertaining per se. It's like
right, there's nothing, the overarching storyline, I think the reason why is literally the whole overarching storyline, like everything is about love and marriage. There's not like something else happening. There's not something else going on, which is what I like. I like I personally like really, really robust stories where there's like motorcycle accidents and gang fights and like, you know, they're putting, well, no, honestly, like Taiwanese BL tropes, right? There's like always, for the most part, especially in Taiwanese BLs, something else going on that's like like has nothing to do with the romance side of things. And so I think that's why this didn't hit for me, is I think maybe it's because it felt like it was incomplete somehow.
Interesting.
Because there wasn't like,
I
don't know.
Because I guess that side storyline is like the fact that they're trying to save this workshop from going under, but it's like, that's not that engaging.
Well, and it's all sort of underpinned by like, again, this rule of like, you can't have romance. It's like, it's all about, and like, why can't you have the romantic relationship? Like, it's all about the romance aspect, which is just, I needed more than that. That aspect was good. It was great storytelling. The pacing was on point, which is always true of Taiwanese BLs. The chemistry was good. The side couple, adorable. All of it. Wayne, right? Like, so there's so much good about it that I like so much that I think I just was waiting for something more. Maybe that's why, because I think maybe I should have like really high expectations for Taiwanese BLs because like they're so good.
Yeah, I would say the same. I got to the end, and maybe because I watched it in real time, I got to the end and like it felt like each week felt like its own entity. Like it never felt like a full, like over the full show. And so I kind of went into each week almost watching it as like a short or a mini, where I was like, you know, with some of these shows, like you're not investing a lot of time. It's just 20 minutes, you know, one day a week, which is nice. And so, the side couple too, I thought were fresh and were truly, you know, they were the storyline that like moved steadily throughout the show. And the like chemistry between the two. So it was Yan Zhao Gang and Wu Si Ki are like
Chi.
We learned that with Richard. My bad.
We're learning. We're trying. Please be kind.
Like their storyline was so sweet and endearing, and I wouldn't mind seeing them get married if we like got a fun season 2. But yeah, I feel like this is like almost a BL that you'd want to introduce to someone as like a, let me give you a soft, fluffy ease into like,
it's lots of fluff.
maybe
Yeah.
don't start with Trapped or Make Our Days Count. Like if you can't deal with gang daddies.
Why would anyone start with Make Our Days Count? What the hell? What? No. Listen, if you got into BLs because your friend showed you Make Our Days Count first, that's not your friend.
I mean, I got into BLs via Tharn Type and Why Are You, so I feel like
right. But Make Our Days Count, if somebody was like, hey, I want to show you this like super cool fun thing, and then they show you Make Our Days Count, like full stop, you should never speak to them again. Like they clearly hate you. They clearly have no care for your emotional well-being. So let's get that out of the way. Like,
it's true. The trauma is real.
The trauma is real. So, speaking of Make Our Days Count,
yes.
Since you bring it up, let's talk about Wayne. Let's talk about Wayne being in this. Let's talk about the whole multiverse of his character. And does it tie in? Does it not? That is the big conversation.
I do love how Taiwanese BLs tend to intertwine themselves quite a few times in like the BL universe, because a couple of the Make Our Days Count boys showed up in Another History, which of course like it's a big history kind of like thing that happens. The storylines for History always do. So it was fun to like kind of see Wayne from History show up in a completely separate.
What was interesting about it is that this is what happened. So this is like unique to Make Our Days Count, that they are popping up in series that are not related to History, because the same thing in Life, Love on the Line.
Yes.
Right? Where it's like a Japanese BL.
Yes.
And then you just scream and cry and your life is complete.
Yeah.
But so that's what's like so interesting to me is like the reach of this like, so the question is, do you think it's intertwined? Like, do you think this is canon? Like it's actually him from like Make Our Days Count character Wayne? Or is it Wayne playing a different character?
Here's what I want to know. I want to talk to Wayne's management or somebody in Wayne's camp. This boy appears everywhere, because I was first introduced. Sorry, we're gonna go on a Wayne appreciation moment.
Wayne appreciation podcast.
I was introduced to Wayne via a Taiwanese drama that I stumbled upon, I think on Netflix, called Iron Ladies, and he played like the son of one of the characters. And so then when I watched Make Our Days Count and was like, oh, I know this boy. And then I watched like Life, Love on the Line and was like, oh, here he is again. And now he's like appeared. So he's like that actor that just kind of shows up when he needs to.
I feel like we just need to talk to Wayne and demand answers from him. And by demand answers from him, I mean, tell him he's wonderful.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
No, honestly, yeah. So really though, what do you think?
It was an interesting cameo. I didn't appreciate the fact that they ran into each other on the street. I feel like that's dangerous territory.
Why, Beth Ann?
Because I like
why? Listen, next thing I know, you're gonna be like, Ayla, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some salt.
Do we think that this is like a subtle like hint that like he's gonna show up again in a BL for another show?
He's filming. He's got his filming. Well, okay. He's got this thing he's doing with his daddy drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
His gang daddy.
I don't even know if it's a gang daddy. Is it a gang daddy? It's just a daddy drama.
It's the gang daddy from Trapped.
Stop! Is it really?
It is. It's Tangy's dad, right?
Is it Tongi's dad?
It's
Wait,
somebody from Trapped.
Tongi's dead dad. Tongi's final daddy.
Final daddy. The one that has the conversation at the like restaurant with his boyfriend. With not Tangy. I don't know that other boy's name. Whoops. You know, we just scream Tangy so much.
Tongi.
You don't know that other boy's name, do you?
Anyway, I know his real life name.
Yes, of course everyone knows Jake.
Anyways, Wayne, you be wildin'.
Yes.
I have so many questions about Wayne, and yet at the same time, none at all. Yeah. Anyways, Wayne shows up, and it's awesome. And for me, it was the best part of the whole series. Full stop. Done. Episode over.
Full stop. If only that card made a full stop, then
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Bruh. Why?
So yeah, this show, again, there's a part where they flash back to why Yuzin has his whole single rule and like why he's like emotionally traumatized in love and whatever. And I thought that was an interesting sideline that they maybe should have done at the beginning of the series and then like kind of develop it from there. But there's like there's a whole nother client that they meet with, I think, that takes the time of like doesn't really move the story along. It kind of develops a little bit of these two characters getting together. There's a lot of like sick tropes where it's like, I gotta take care of you. And so
I will say this was a really unique concept. So a lot of BLs at this point are kind of repeating. So right, like if we're coming from Thailand, it's like everybody's an engineering student, right? Or a doctor. Cooking. Everyone's an engineering student or a doctor. And nowadays everyone's cooking. In general, across
or a ghost.
I was about to say, across multiple countries at this point, we got ghosty BLs.
Yeah.
Shout out to the OG Ghost Singto, though, to be completely honest with you. But so like, and in Taiwanese BLs, a lot of the time we get like college students. So, you know, for example, like We Best Love is like We Best Love season 1 is college. A lot of these are based in college, and then Make Our Days Count, for example, was like high school going into college. So a lot of it is like student based or gang based. Like those are like the two tropes. It's like we got gangs, we got students, we got nothing else, gangs and students.
True.
So this I did appreciate was like super unique and different. It kind of was like, it reminded me of like Ingredients was so different when it came out. Like nobody had done that before. And same thing with like The Moment I Need You. Nobody had done like hotel and hotel guests before. Like it was just like really cool. And that's what I feel like is the situation with Beloved and House I Do. It's really cool and different. And like it almost gives you the opportunity as the viewer to like, I found myself being like, almost like I was learning about the tropes for the first time because I wasn't used to seeing them in this new setting, which I did appreciate.
It also gave me appreciation for that coffee shop, and I 100% want to visit it because it looks so cute and so like a cool place to hang.
Yeah. Like on our Taiwan food tour, Evan.
Yeah, take us to HWC Roasters. Yeah. I thought the same thing when the show first started. I was like, "Oh, this is like fresh and like interesting and new and a world that I hadn't seen before." Plus, it's a world that like no one sees before because there's not much metalworking.
Right, that's what I mean. Is it was so different that it felt like even though there are tropes, right? There are a lot of very recognizable tropes in this. Even though there were a lot of those sort of like somebody's sick and you have to take care of them and all that. Like that's a very, very recognizable trope.
Yeah.
But it felt new because the setting was so different.
Also, let's talk about the mom and Sheila's like moment where she was a fun character to kind of lighten up the show and like add some fun to it. But so there's a moment where she walks in on them getting their cuddle on the floor, and she's like, oh my gosh, walks out. And then there's a sweet moment between her and her son that is just endearing. And I'm pretty sure I cried as the non-crier of
I don't know. Never seen it. Don't
us.
believe it.
And I remember talking to people about this moment, and everyone was just like so excited about it because it's just a sweet moment of like them having this realization that, you know, they love and support each other wholeheartedly, and she's just excited for him. And it's just like a sweet scene that you kind of always want in these shows where the parents are like understanding and loving from the beginning. And
yeah, you always want them to have nice parents. And sometimes you get like bamboozled. Yes. And like you think they're going to be chill and then they're not. And so it was really nice. Like I did have that sort of moment of like, is she not going to be cool? Yeah. But then it was okay.
And she was sweet. Also, the product placement in this show of that soda.
Yeah.
Was an interesting addition to a Taiwanese BL because I don't feel like you see that product placement a lot in Taiwanese BLs.
Mm-mm.
Not to the level that you see it in all
Thailand.
Yeah. But this one, I was like, okay, I want this soda. I want to try this soda because I think they have a whole moment where they talk about like the different flavors and they just like
the really product placement fully works on you. The advertising is working.
True. HWC Roasters and this soda.
The problem is you can't buy it.
It's true.
We'll get to Taiwan eventually.
One day.
In the
near future.
Ideally.
So good. Yeah. This show I enjoyed. I would say it's not that deep of a show. It's not something that like you watch and you come away from and you're like, oh, I want to watch that many more times. But I will say like I did come away from it being like, I absolutely want to watch Hank and Aaron do many more things, which I did actually watch. I think I was like, okay, I need to watch all the histories, which I still haven't gotten around to. But actually, maybe I have. I've watched them out of order, so I can't remember exactly which ones I haven't seen. But so I watched History 1, which Aaron is in.
Aaron's History, yeah.
I was like, oh, wild. And now he's in a new show that's like a Japanese Taiwanese
yeah, it's like a Japanese Taiwanese crossover.
Yeah, which I'm super excited
it's called
to see.
It's called See You After Quarantine.
Again, sounds like a really fresh, new, fun kind of storyline.
Yeah, and it's a nice. So he's a side character, and it's available on Gaga Ulala. Yeah, it's a super interesting. It's a crossover BL, which is we're starting to see more of, right? So this is Taiwanese, Japanese, and then right, like we just got Peach of Time, which is Korean Thai,
right?
So I don't know. That could be, we were just talking about how everybody's a ghost. I wonder if this is the new thing, like we're crossing country lines.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I know there have been some Thai actors to go to Taiwan, and like there's a Tay new video that they do with the side couple from Make Our Days Count, Thomas and whatever the other boy's name is. They like do some kind of variety show appearance together. So yeah, it's always fun to see those like random connections.
Yeah.
But watch the show.
I will say Be Loved in House I Do. It's an easy watch. So if you're trying to just like, you're kind of in between dramas or even if you just honestly, Aaron and Hank carry it. Like if you just want to watch some sweet fluff with good chemistry that like you appreciate, and like Hank is so stinking cute. Like Aaron is handsome and like charismatic and perfect. And he very much so is a domineering director.
Yeah.
But Hank is so stinking cute, dude. Like adorable.
Truth.
So if you just want that in your life, yes, highly recommend. This is the show for you. For me, it was good because I was like kind of in between things. And it's like it's nice to like you have something to watch, but if you're not looking for like this crazy storyline that you have to keep up with and like, you know, it's not going to traumatize you. Nobody dies over spices. Like it's going to be fine.
You know what I also realized? So many of these Taiwanese BLs have lead actors who were in once in a boy band. Because Hank was also in a boy band back in the day, but I think his was like an actual band. Like I don't think it was like a C-pop band like Chris or Sam.
Right.
I think it was like an actual band.
Our little idol boys.
Yes, so good. So yeah, watch the show, watch the behind the scenes and the appearances they do.
I was gonna say, actually, maybe just watch a cut of the behind the scenes. Like,
yeah, it's true. Because it's funny, the crew mess with them a few times, which is really funny to watch them. Because Aaron seems
the
like
Taiwanese in general behind the scenes are like peak. I would say probably my favorite behind the scenes out of all the different regions.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're so
peak.
good.
They're good.
Okay. Thanks for joining us on this series Sundays. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things.
Do things and stuff. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, this is Let's Talk Beyond.